Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly welcome you to Marley State of Mind. You know what the fuck it is. You know what time it is, motherfucker. Let's go. It's a motherfucking podcast. Yeah, it's a motherfucking podcast. Hey, it's a goddamn podcast. Yeah, it's a motherfucking podcast, bitch. Yeah, it's a podcast, bitch. It's a goddamn podcast.
What up? What up? Welcome to the world's dopest podcast, Marley State of Mind. We're down here at a Bunch of Bulls Studios. As always, I come and bring you a special guest, my main homie, Seanski. How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good. I'm a little bit tired, but I'm excited to be here tonight.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to have you. This is gonna be a good one. Whenever I start off,
yeah, it was rushing around all day.
you was rushing around. It was a busy day for you.
Yeah, definitely. Got the cats groomed, 8 a.m.
Damn,
and
that's dedication for real.
And went to took my daughter to the women's basketball game, city game.
That's fire.
Pitt and
she plays too, huh?
Yeah, so she couldn't ask for a better game, 53-52.
Oh man,
so came down the end. So she was engaged the whole time. And,
that's what's up.
It's a great game. And like I was saying, Scott Blasey did the national anthem.
Scott Blasey of the Clarks.
Yeah, so that's what originally pulled me down there, and I figured Reese would really want to see college hoops game too. So
yeah, she like watching games. She's a fan of the.
Not yet. No,
yeah,
no.
Yeah.
She hasn't got that passionate about it yet.
That might help intensify the passion. Actually, taking to a live game, seeing girls get down like that, especially a game like that. She starts seeing more of those. She really going to get into it.
Definitely.
But yeah, man, I like to usually, you know the format. I usually like to start off saying how I was introduced to the artist, how I met the artist, I come across hearing the artist. For you, it's a little bit different. I've known you for a long time, most of my life. So, but I didn't know you did music, which is crazy. So I just got home from doing the bid, and we have a mutual friend, Munch. Shout out Munch, the GOAT, the basketball GOAT.
Yeah, absolutely.
Munch. And Munch is like, he's like, man, you gotta link up with Sean, man. You know Sean doing music. I'm like, Sean who, bro? He's like, Sean Lewandowski's out here doing music. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, Sean ain't doing music. He's like, for real, man. He pops the CD in and he starts playing a song. And the first thing I noticed, I'm like, damn, his delivery is clean as hell. Like, for him just to start doing music, his delivery is super clean. Then you had a song with Life. And you had a song with Wiz. I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on? like, and I wasn't even going that long. And I came home and I heard about what was going on. And sure enough, we ended up getting together, and you were super generous, and you showed me the way to do music. You showed you're the first person I've seen get duplicates, like actual CD replications. You're the first person I've seen to have an official album cover, like me personally new. First person I've seen with like an album cover, a professional looking album cover. The first person I've seen get music mixed and mastered. And coming from where we come from, a small town, how were you able to put that together? Like, how were you able to find a recording studio? And this is before the days of Google and things like that. How were you able to find a recording studio, and how did you learn the process of mixing and mastering and all of those things? How were you able to come across that?
First, I appreciate all the kind words, of course. It's the first time hearing about Munch. I don't know why.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I was thinking it was Bay.
No, it was Munch, bro. It was Munch.
Awesome. Yeah. When I first decided that I was gonna take it seriously, I knew Wiz was on the come up at the time. I knew he was like the artist in the area that was making some moves, making some things happen. So immediately I just thought, like, I need to find out where he's recording at. Like, I need to get myself there, for, of course, the sound quality, but also the networking involved, as we saw throughout the years at ID Labs.
So you seen an opportunity to not only make music that would be industry quality, because you knew if he was getting his music done there, he's being played on the radio, he's taking the right steps. So you knew if you would go there, you would be able to have that same opportunity. And not only that, you see an opportunity to branch out your network by being involved with people who are actually on the scene, on the industry.
Absolutely. And like I said, just going along with that too, and first wanting to get that studio, where he was at, and then also wanting to work with him and get myself out there immediately and make an impact on the scene and be heard, being that he was
Where he
the
was.
guy at the time.
Yeah.
So
Still the guy, huh?
getting, yeah.
Yeah. Still the guy.
I would say
No,
so.
no. So that's interesting. So you were able to put yourself in that room, and what gave you that ambition? Because a lot of people will see that and think that, but not even follow through. And it seemed like that's one of the things that separate you from most is not only do you see the opportunity, but and you recognize the opportunity, but you take advantage of it. You go after it, full grasp. Like you don't half-ass it. You're the whole way dedicated in. Was that like a leap of faith for you to do that?
Yeah, I was yeah, I would say pretty much like if I'm really gonna do something, I'm gonna be all in on it.
Right.
And then also like outside of just the music itself, the art itself, I have a grasp of like the business aspects that come into it too.
Right.
Like I said, in getting that feature from Wiz, like the exposure from his fan base at the time, and what that could mean for me branching out. So just um, having a just a basic understanding at the time.
How many songs had you had recorded before you did that song with Wiz?
Uh, I want to say two.
Two songs.
Yeah, it would have been the "Baby I'm a Star with Life"
Yeah.
and "Ask for Days."
Yeah, sure. They
Shorty
gotta ask
asked
for
for
days.
days. Those are the first two,
Yeah.
and man, that was just, I had no clue about recording at the time.
Yeah.
I knew about writing, um, you know, writing bars and a little bit on the delivery aspect just from being, a fan.
Of music, yeah.
Yeah, fan of music, fan of hip hop all my life. But I just didn't. I had no idea about recording, and then even like the writing of the verses, like the overlapping.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? I don't
Like
know if,
dub tracks, things like that.
yeah, like I don't know if you could relate, like when you're like a lot younger, like you're putting lines together,
Oh, putting
but
too many words or too many syllables in a bar, things like that.
yeah, and just not understanding like from this line to that line.
Yeah.
It's got to,
It's
it's
gotta
got to
flow.
smoothly. So in the beginning stages, it didn't take me long to figure it out, but those first couple sessions, it's like, wait, like in order for me to make this line fit, I gotta like come over top of that line a little bit, or it's not gonna work out. So
Right. How'd you figure it out? Like how did you figure out the process of recording? Was it just
just
trial and
trial
error?
and error. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say. Trial and error.
Yeah.
Like just realizing right away, like, oh, this isn't gonna work. Just just jotting down lines. Like it's all got to flow together smoothly.
How long did it take you to get those? Because I know you to be a perfectionist when it comes to music and releasing music, recording music. It's one of the things like you take your time. You like to go over a song, and
Yeah.
sometimes you might re-record things over and over. Were you like that from the very beginning stages? Were you like that, or were you not as concerned about perfecting it?
Um. That's a really good question. I think in the beginning stages, I wasn't right away, like not right away about like re-recording
Yeah,
everything, but I was definitely always like my biggest critic. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of things like I immediately knew when after recording, like, I didn't like how I, pronounced that or
right,
did that there and that. Like I was, really picky from the beginning, but
yeah.
like it took me some time to, go back and just start making a bunch of those changes, which to this day sometimes drives me crazy. Nowadays, like now you can, overthink things too much, and
Yeah.
once how no matter how long you sit with it.
Now you said your third song you ever recorded was the feature you had with Wiz. What's the name of that song?
It's a Berg thing.
It's a bird thing. Can
Yeah.
people find that today?
They cannot because, well, for one, um, the mixtape I had, Expect the Unexpected with
Yeah.
New Jersey Devil. I just had a snippet of the original, but I had the remix of it on there, which, as we know now, Dat Piff got
deleted all their songs.
taken down, and
That's unfortunate too.
crazy thing. It was only the original song was only one place on YouTube, and I'm sure I told you this story in the past.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah,
but
for those who don't know it,
yeah. So back then, when videos just weren't as common. Like you really
right?
had to be on to have like
A
actual
real video.
videos.
Yeah,
So the next best thing was like the picture videos, like
yeah.
just putting pictures. So I had um Jerome Stafford.
What up, Jerome?
One of my best friends.
We know you're gonna be tuning in this
the
one.
godfather of my kids.
What's going on, bro?
He knew somebody he worked with at Radio Shack at the time that was good with that sort of thing, and he made a picture video. He did a great job on it for that song, so it was out on YouTube. And just one day, like, I mean, it was doing well, but like you could just imagine through these years,
Right.
like that could have been at 500,000 million just because it has Wiz's name on it. Like people
Right.
just searching for Wiz,
people who just discovered them searching for going through the archive.
But long story short is one day it just it just ended up being gone.
Wow.
And I don't have any confirmation on anything for the exact reasoning. I mean, I heard some rumors on it that like that I don't know if I'm gonna get too much into it, but
because they are rumors, you can't confirm it.
Yeah, and just basically they felt at the time like
the person who put the video
up, that maybe that like there were some negative aspects to the song, and they didn't want to have like
they didn't like morally agree with the
they didn't have any want to be associated with it anyway. Which is crazy because like if you think about it, like
the song was pretty mild.
Yeah, and I don't my music doesn't incorporate like that,
no gangster
like,
elements or nothing like that. Yeah,
no violence or just anything like that. So I mean, there may have been like a couple, swear words or whatever, but
right.
But yeah, that really, of course, that upset me because it's just like, man, all that.
Especially for you, it's a moment in time. It's a moment in history for you. And like a real big personal moment for you because that was something that you wished to obtain. That was something that you obtained and something that you wanted to share. And it was a big record for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well.
I just kind of wish like the gentleman that made it would have like reached out to me and maybe like let me like
at least had a conversation with you about it.
Yeah, or let me like take control of it somehow, like through through his YouTube if he didn't like want any like parts.
Hey, bro, if you're listening, man, you still got that track, man. The people want to hear that Berg thing remix too. That was a crazy moment, right? You also did a remix to that song, which featured a lot of artists that were up and coming, in general in the underground scene as well as Pittsburgh that were rather big artists in Pittsburgh along with it. Tell us a little bit about the remix.
Oh man, that was crazy. just trying to put the biggest and up and coming artists, like people that had a name in the city, on it at the time, and I think we definitely did that. Like, from Chevy Woods, who was Kev the Hustler back then,
part of Taylor Gang,
to Boaz, to Oe.
Shout out to Boaz, for sure.
Lil Brucey,
I'm
forgetting anybody. No, I'm gonna forget.
No, that's it.
Of course yourself.
Yeah. DJ D's
DJ D's
hosted it.
What else did I want to say about it? I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, the remix. That was a crazy time. And you're in there, and I know for the remix you actually were in the studio with these guys. It wasn't a time where like now where people like to just bounce tracks back and forth to each other. Like that was a time where it was more common to be in the studio with people that you're collaborating with. What was that session like for you to have all of those artists that you respected and looked up to and admired? What was it like having all of them in the studio to do a song for you, like essentially?
Oh, that was, I mean, it was special. Like, I know you can recall like the energy in that room like it was such a small area in the original ID Labs in Lawrenceville
Yeah.
that like everyone like pretty much, you know, had to
Had no choice but to congregate
yeah,
together. Yeah.
exactly. So to have everyone in there and like just man, such a great scene, so much positive energy. Um and I was just thinking about the remix at the time. I remember back in like the early Twitter days, interview Q actually tweeted me after the song. He's like, "Oh man, you should have had Mac on here,"
That's
which
crazy. Yeah.
which I really didn't wasn't too familiar with him
Right.
yet until
This is like pre-kids, all of that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
even it might have been even pre the High Life or like right
It was right around
just
the High
yeah
Life.
just a
Yeah.
little bit before the High Life
Yeah.
dropped, and I wasn't familiar with Mac yet. I just Josh was the first one to like I don't know put us or definitely put me onto him.
Yeah.
In one of my sessions he started playing some of his music. I remember he was like, "Hey, check this out," and it's
Yeah.
his Easy Mac.
Easy Mac. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out Josh Everett. What's up,
yeah,
bro?
definitely.
What's going on with you? Yeah, so that had to be an exciting time for you. So you're doing music. It's really your first step in the water with music. You're seeing these things go on around you. You have artists like Wiz. We mentioned Mac. Type of guys you're in the studio with. You're seeing Boaz. All these guys are making noise or well respected. Not only in the city but in the industry. What did it feel like for you? Did you feel like you were on the cusp of being that? Did you feel like you were that? How what was going through your head at that time as you're doing these things? You're making these songs. Are you doing shows at that time or not yet?
Not not yet. No shows yet at the moment. Although I was putting some stuff together around that time.
Right.
Um, as I mentioned, the mixtape that I dropped was hosted by New Jersey Devil.
New
So
Jersey
it was
Devil.
like
For
around
those who don't know, New Jersey Devil was the game's main DJ at that
yeah,
time,
yeah, and he did
doing
like
a lot of hosting of like the Black Wall Street
yeah,
mixtapes and things like that for the game.
and I think he did some stuff for Lil Wayne
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. I
And
think he had a track with Lil Wayne, matter of
yeah,
fact. Yeah,
yep.
for sure.
So I was like trying to help put a show together with them through a promoter. It was going to be in Station Square at the time. I can't remember what the venue was called at the time, but
Right.
it ended up falling through because of the promoter. But that would have been my first show, which would have been pretty
Pretty
crazy.
crazy, yeah, to have the
Yeah.
game, especially at that time. Game was like top of the world.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt like I was on the right track
The
for
right trajectory.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Just figuring out things as I went along, and then like it brought me to um, releasing the mixtape
Yeah.
and just like not understanding the the business of it.
Now, when you say understanding the business, what do you mean by that?
It's like I put so much time and effort into the music, from the mixing, the mastering,
The actual
um,
recording process of
yeah,
the
so
music.
much, so much money, so many investments into it, but you know, then it's like when it comes time to release it, I didn't understand like everything you put into making it, you need to put like double into the
The actual
promotional,
marketing of
yeah,
it.
the promotion, the marketing,
Yeah.
and I didn't really understand that at the time, or I didn't really know,
How to go about doing it even.
yeah, how to go about doing it. Now, in doing some research at the time, I knew that Artie Pitt was like made some things happen. He was a publicist
Right.
for Rostrum and for Wiz and Mac, and got Boaz up at Hot 97,
Right.
things like that. So I reached out to him, and we were gonna work together. The first song we were gonna work on is "It's a Bird Thing" remix.
Right.
So I was gonna send him some.
And that had a couple artists that he was invested in it on it
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. And I was gonna send him, some money for him to push the song. But
Right.
then, like, the more and more I thought about it, like, I wasn't too like I went through a period like after dropping the mixtape, like
Right.
that it got the love I think it deserved, but like because I didn't know how to push it to big audiences, like it really, I don't know, it's like
You don't feel that it did what it should have
yeah,
or what it
yeah.
could have done.
So like I was kind of like I was like down about it at the time when me and him were talking about it, and about just music in general at the time, like um and I just decided like it didn't make any sense for me at the time for that to be the record that I put a decent amount of money into
Right.
marketing, because it was like a 6.5 minute song, and
Right.
I'm on the last verse, and
So
then
even then, you were thinking strategically though. You were still thinking, even though you weren't focused on marketing and the promotional aspect, but you still had enough business sense to know like maybe this isn't the right one for me.
yeah, because I just didn't feel like it. He was already had Wiz and Boaz and artists, like he was kind of representing,
Right.
and I just felt like most people would probably come to that song, like that lengthy of a song, and just probably just sought out Wiz's
Verse. Yeah.
verse, and that be it. So I didn't feel like that would help me too much individually for me to
Make
you
that
know
your lead single.
yeah, and to put some money in behind that. So
I think that's a valuable lesson, like for artists that are coming up now, even to this day. A lot of people put a lot of money behind the videos and actual production and making of the songs, but not have the money to invest in marketing. And I always like to give out learner lessons whenever possible to the artists who are coming up and trying to do music about that and how important it is to whatever steps we can help you guys skip along the way or help to make your career go further. But the marketing and promotion, you still feel is as strong or needs to be as strong to this day, or has that changed?
oh yeah, definitely. I
Do
mean,
you still
even
need that a budget behind that and to put as much time and investment in that aspect of it?
yeah, even more so now. But I would just say like it would where the money gets allocated is obviously different now with the social media
Right.
age and everything. So it's like back then we were in the blog era,
Right. Yeah.
which it kind of seemed like
There
you
was
had.
there's been an evolution to take place in music since you've been doing it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Just seemed like you kind of, from the outside looking in, you could look at it and be like, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to work with someone like an artist at the time and have him get my music to these different blogs
Right.
at the time and get it out there. To where now it's just like, and then people judge off the actual music. So it's
Right.
like different compared to now. Like you have all these other elements that play into it, like
It's
you,
almost
you
like
know
it's almost like wrestling now, right?
yeah, of course. And
Like there's
like
gimmicks behind it. You got to have like some type of something behind it. It's not the like you said, people used to get behind the music or the music was important. Now the music isn't as important. It's more of like a popularity contest.
absolutely, because
That's just my opinion.
yeah, no, I agree 100%. Like because back then you could get the music on the blogs, you might have to connect to get it on the blogs, but still it's up to the listener what they
Right.
what they think of the song. But like
Right.
now it's like things get shoved down your throat, like money wise, and then you're
Right.
dealing with, and you don't know what's real anymore, like from the fake followers to the bot views,
Right.
and just like just everything like that. It's like
Now I know you and I have had a lot of conversations about that. I don't want to delve too far into it because
yeah,
we got a lot of stuff to get
yeah, of
into.
course.
But I know you and I have had personal conversations about like the bots and the fake followers and
Hmm.
things like that. Do you feel that that's almost necessary in today's time to have those things because it's such commonplace, or do you feel like that it's better to have the organic things? I know you yourself don't personally do that,
Yeah.
or don't engage in that, but do you fault people who do, or do you think it's how do you feel about that yourself?
Oh man, like I personally can't bring myself to do that, and I do
Right.
think organically is better, but like that is like a question I would like to ask like a music insider, like someone in the game. um is this necessary? Like, is this what it has to be? Like, do you have to do this to because it's so much is like a
It's
numbers
so prominent now.
game these days. And
Yeah.
And I guess, I mean,
And so
sometimes I let it bother me more than I probably should, but like sometimes I get to thinking like, man, like my low follower amount, which is real, like could be costing me opportunities compared
to
to
gain
some,
other followers.
yeah, compared to someone else, like, you know, like if I'm going to get trying to get on a show, and I got a couple thousand followers, and this guy that bought all his and got like 40, 50,000, like, like
It
the
might
promoter.
look better to the promoter.
Yeah, of course. Like, oh, well, this guy got a following. He could sell some tickets because the average person that's not in it like us,
Yeah,
like they don't know. Like
the difference.
I've had to explain to like so many friends, like, they'll look at a post and be like, man, this has this many likes. And it's like, I had to figure it out myself. Like, cause you'll see somebody post something like be like 2 minutes have passed and they got like 400 likes. And then you start looking at who liked it and it's all fake profiles. It's
Yeah,
like, it's not real.
yeah.
It's all for show. So one thing that I'm really proud of is like I Dream of Poutine, the single I recently dropped about, covering like the tour in Canada.
Oh yeah, we definitely gonna get
Um,
into that one.
so I posted the video on Instagram of me rapping along to the lyrics. And if you check that out on Instagram, that has like 260 some comments. And if you look on that, those are all real people. Those are all real people, like the majority from Canada being like, you know, leaving feedback and then saying like, come back. We
Yeah,
want you to come back, this and that. So like I'm proud of that's real. You can't fake that.
yeah. That's fire.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
fire. So I definitely want to get into that too, right? Because you just got off tour not too long ago, with Chris Webby.
Yeah.
Your first international tour at that, right? It's
Yeah.
not just a tour; it's an international tour.
International tour. So that was
Yeah, we definitely gonna get
so
into that.
special.
But we'll be remiss. I definitely want to get into this, and I don't want it to let it slip by. So you did the song, "Baby, I'm a Star with Life," and you actually had an opportunity to build a relationship with Life, and with the recent passing of T-Rex, we
Yeah,
definitely want to touch on his memory and
absolutely.
and um and what he meant to you, and how he was able to bring you those opportunities. So
Yeah.
let's touch on that a little bit. So I know
Oh
you're a
man.
big fan of Life Jennings, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely one of my favorite artists. I got his first album meant so much to me. I have it tatted on me here. Life 268192.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Such a special album to me, so many levels. Um, so yeah, back in the day, those are the MySpace days back in 2008. It's like summer 2008,
Yeah.
and I had, I'm just I'm messaging everybody, like all the artists or whatever, of course, not getting any responses from anybody. And I see Life Jennings, I like do a little research and I come to find like who's in his like band and like little just part of his crew. So there might have been several of them that I reached out to, but T Rex is the one who got back to me. And
Tell the people, for those who don't know, tell the people who T-Rex is.
T Rex was a background singer. Well, at the time when I met him, background singer for Life Jennings,
Right.
and he also went on to do background vocals for other artists like Neo. Like you can actually see Neo's Unplugged that he did for VH1. T Rex is on there doing background vocals for that. He did background vocals on like the Today Show with Mario.
Oh, that's crazy.
He built up quite a resume for himself, and then later on as his own solo artist with something he called RNG, Rhythm and Gospel,
Yeah.
which is just amazing. So to go back into,
So you found him on MySpace. You
yeah, and
contacted him on there.
yeah, and I just said, how much Life's music meant to me and
Yeah.
how I'd like to, work with him one day and whatever. And he was just like, well, we got a show coming up in Toledo. I think it was Toledo. Maybe it was Cleveland. No, Cleveland. He's like, well, we got a show coming up in
Oh,
Cleveland.
that's crazy. That's his hometown too, ain't it? Life's hometown.
Life's from Toledo.
Oh, okay, okay.
But he's like, we got a show coming up in Cleveland, the House of Blues. Come out for it, and I'll introduce you to Life myself. And of course I'm skeptical, right? Because
Right.
he don't know me, like for
Yeah, he's extending a lot of generosity not to know you. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm just like, but whatever. Like it was enough for me to like,
Take a leap of faith.
I'm gonna see what this is about. So I drove out there, and sure enough, free tickets to the show with Life and Bilal, and at the House of Blues.
How crazy was that?
Oh man, such a great show. Then
Was that the first time that you seen Life live?
yeah, it was. And then getting to hang out with them afterwards, like just rolling around with them, like as if I'm part of the crew. That's one thing I will say too about T-Rex is like he always made me feel like
You were part of the crew.
I was actually a part of the crew, even though
Right.
I wasn't in the band or nothing like that. He made me feel like I belonged there, which that meant a lot to me, for sure.
So
But
you
yeah,
got to see Life perform live in Cleveland at the House of Blues.
yeah, and I got a free hotel room and everything.
Damn.
Like for someone that I didn't like, he hooked me up. Someone that I didn't even.
That had to be an amazing
know.
feeling, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like man, that's just like for him to do that, like.
And
Says,
you guys continued to build a relationship even after that. You guys.
Yeah, and our relationship was, I mean, we would talk, but like we would link up on live shows where he like continued to, extend his hand like that, and from that I got to meet and network with so many artists from Neo to Trey Songz and
Yeah.
so many more. Um, just all because of his generosity like that, and that just says so much about who he was because he had nothing to gain from helping me. I wasn't anyone at the time, and not only did he have nothing to gain, he never turned around and was like, "Well, hey, can you do this for me?" or anything. Like he never asked anything in return.
In return,
Like
yeah.
that's just
and that's so rare to come by, especially in music, that he would give so freely and not expect anything in return.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, just in life, not even in music, just in life. That's a rare quality,
Absolutely.
and you were able to find that in someone who themselves had a a relative amount of success in music.
Yeah. He was a special individual, man. Like, it's just weird. It's so weird, just even like death in general these days with seeing it in real time, right?
Yeah.
With social media.
Yeah.
Like seeing like someone like him that was always on the move with music, like, in Atlanta here, New York here, like doing different things musically, like all over. And then just to see like one day it's just, you know what I mean? Just like
gone.
And man, it just feels really strange. He's probably he's the youngest friend that I've had pass.
So he recently passed. He recently passed away.
And his birthday would have been today.
Wow. Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's just
damn. So
such a sad situation.
Definitely a rest in peace to T-Rex.
Yeah, rest in peace. We went what was that 2018 and 2019?
Yeah.
We went to New York City and performed at his birthday bash both years. So
yeah, that's right. That was and it was he knew how to do a birthday bash, didn't he?
Oh, for sure.
They what part of New York was that? I can't recall exactly.
I can't recall myself.
But yeah, he had some great performances down there. He would put together like almost a showcase of sorts where he would bring all different genres, different artists together for his birthday bash, and you get to see a lot of talented artists. I believe there was even one of the members of Backstreet was there, or Blackstreet was there as well. At some of these performances, and it was amazing to see all these people come together to show T-Rex so much love. I mean, that shows how much he meant to people because they would come from all over to perform and celebrate him for his birthday bash. So a special rest in peace to T-Rex and his family. We hope, you guys find the peace that you need in this time. Happy birthday to him, and shout out to him for being a real one, right?
Yeah, for sure. Never forget him. Definitely never forget all he did for me. And like, he's someone like in the back of my mind, like I always thought, like, when I have success musically, like he's someone I want to
reach back out
and do anything I can to help him the way he looked out for me. When, he didn't have
Y'all get a chance, definitely stream some of that T-Rex. Keep his spirit alive.
Terrell T-Rex Simon.
Yeah, hell yeah. So we touched on that. You did the song with Life. You did the song with Wiz. Can you tell us about your first performance? What was that like? Do you remember your first performance?
I do do a little bit. It was with you. It was I want to say 2010,
Yeah, like 2010ish. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
2010 in Washington with Young Buck.
Young Buck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Opened up for Young Buck. That had to be crazy. That had to be crazy. I know I'm speaking and like as if I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I'm host Marley tonight, so I have to do it this way for the listeners. So that had to be crazy, right? Opening it up for Young Buck, especially at this
Yeah.
time. G Units, like just off of their hot streak. The Young Buck was beefing at 50 Cent, I believe, at that time.
right at the time. Yeah.
So that kind of had him at the height of his career.
Yeah.
What was that like? That first performance?
Oh man, that was so much fun. I think we really did a great job in preparation for that. Like
Yeah.
me and you traded songs back and forth, and like I think we really put that together well. And like
Yeah.
it was nice having a good amount of people from Connersville show up for that show.
Yeah, a
too,
lot of
and
hometown support.
having that support meant a lot too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was incredible. Just get my feet wet and seeing what was gonna work, what wasn't, like
Right.
just getting the feel for it for sure.
Were you nervous for your first performance?
I wasn't. This is weird. Like I wasn't aware like I was nervous, but I think that I was because like I was getting really breathy, like
Yeah.
overly breathy. You can get breathy just from being out of shape, moving around, and not your first time performing, like putting the
And you don't know how
words
much
in.
energy to
Yeah.
put towards it and stuff like that. Like, because you do have to kind of pick and choose your spots. It's almost like fighting or any type of sport
Yeah.
where you're exhausting energy. I know you like to play basketball and stuff like that. Like sometimes you might have to lay off on defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To save yourself, or you know what I mean? You have to know how to pick and choose your spots, and performing is no different. So you're just trying to kind of getting your feet wet.
Yeah, definitely. But I just remember for that show like a couple moments where I was just like you know what I mean? Like I go to rap and it was just like it just seemed like a bit extra. So I think I did have some nerves that were in there somewhere, but like not too much though. I mean, especially like performing with you, like it was that, helped ease the comfort level for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
So
And you did a lot of, and even since then, you've opened up for a lot of different major artists.
I'm not going to cut you off.
No,
But,
no, absolutely. It's your time, bro.
I gotta say that I've definitely learned a lot from you. Watching you perform
Oh, that's
as well.
fire.
Like you're an incredible performer. So like I've definitely picked up a lot on your performances through the years too, and learned a good bit there.
I
sure.
appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
That's fire. I thank you very much for saying that. And performing is important, right? Because you can gain a lot of fans
Yeah.
from performing. I know for me, just personally speaking, like I found that's where I gained the most real, genuine people who take interest in my music is during those performance times. And you perform for a lot of big acts. Why don't you tell us about some of those artists that you opened up for?
Okay, so try to go in somewhat of a little bit of an order here.
Yeah.
There was that Young Buck one first, and then wow, that's crazy. That would have been like 2009, and then I think 2000 or maybe 2010.
Yeah, it's probably
that show was, and then my next performance wasn't until 2018 for the T-Rex B-Day
Okay.
bash in New York. That was my second performance because I think that was I'm getting confused. I'm trying to think. I think the Cameron show was 2019, I want to say.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah,
2019.
yeah. It was pre-pandemic.
Yeah. It was 2019, like July, somewhere around.
So you got to open up for Cam, you got to open up for Young Buck.
Yeah, and then not long after that, we did the T-Rex B-Day bash again in 2019, and then we turned back around. While we were there, we did the Believer video in New York City.
In New York
Check
City.
that out, Believer on YouTube.
Oh yeah, while we're on that, real quick, how do people get a hold of you on social media, or if they're looking to collab with you, book you for a show? How do people get a hold of you?
Seanski Music on Instagram, and if you use email, seanskimusic@gmail.com.
For
That's
sure.
SEANSKI music. So yeah, like going back to that, which is kind of a story in itself, right? From the Believer video, us shooting that New York City, and
Yeah.
then
Got
fast,
Jordan Beckham to shoot
yeah,
that video.
Jordan, shout out to Jordan. He's done my only videos so far, and it's a story in itself from the me end up being back in New York and Jada Kiss loving that record. Which,
Yeah.
but anyway, back to the shows. So we did the T-Rex B-Day Bash in 2019. We did the Believer video, turned right back around and got back to Pittsburgh the next day. And the next evening we did the show with Freddie Gibbs.
Yeah.
Which is definitely one of my
favorite
might
shows?
be my favorite. It's I might put it second. It's pretty
It's up
close
there.
between that for locally.
Yeah.
For the local shows. I would put it that and the one we did with Webby at Mr. Smalls.
Mr. Smalls, yeah.
But then there was Crazy Bone too.
Yeah.
There was Riff Raff.
Yeah.
Who else? I mean,
Afro Man most recently.
Afro Man, yeah, that was packed.
Yeah.
Dizzy Bright. And then I did a show where I opened for the lead singer of the Spin Doctors.
Yeah,
which was special. Like, so if you, I mean, anybody out there knows 90s music, like the Spin Doctors had a couple of the biggest songs that are still like played to this day.
Yeah.
So that was really a great experience because I would throw in some different stuff, throw in some covers, throw in some music that fits more in that lane and adapt to that, which is kind of like always what I wanted to do. Like I want to be able to do shows with whoever and
you've
make
had
it work.
You've had an evolution within yourself, like a bit of a progression in your music from where you were, and even a name change. How can we not touch on that? Because you started off as Money SL.
Yeah.
Whenever you were doing a lot of that mixtape stuff with New Jersey Devil, doing those tracks, you started off as Money SL, then it evolved to SL.
Yeah.
And then to where you are now as Seanski, and with that evolution, your music also took on a change.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that was intentional or not. Was it intentional, or was that just something that kind of came?
I think it was going to come anyway, but like I think the name change was really necessary for
brought
me.
It all full circle.
Yeah, just for Money SL, like of course I come to find later that there's another Money SL is it like with
the Junior Mafia? Yeah.
Like but regardless of that, like the main reason I wanted to go away from the Money SL, which a lot of people still
refer to you as,
and like what I think have said like they prefer I was still Money SL.
Yeah,
but
I like Money SL.
But the reason like I went away from that is I didn't want anyone to get any preconceived notions about who I am as an artist. Yeah, like thinking like Money SL, white rapper, like is gonna be corny dude just rapping about money the whole time, and like I just felt like
it didn't represent who you were.
It didn't represent who I was. So I just thought to keep it simple. Like obviously my last name is too long. Just use my full name.
Yeah.
Just cut it short and
took a piece of your name.
Yeah, and still embrace the Polish.
And then we see you got the dope logo to go with it in the background.
Oh yeah, which is my cat, Beavis. I just thought at one point like, man, he's like anybody that knows that cat. I have 3 cats, and they're all important to me, but like his personality is I would say like a lot like mine.
Yeah,
like they say that about pets, like they take on
your personality. Yeah.
And he's just like he's like just real chill. He's loving, he's
your avatar.
Yeah, he just I mean he's hilarious too. Just so many so many things. He's ornery. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
likes to have fun. Just like, I don't know, so many things um, about him. Like, I'm
You thought
just
it would
like,
be a great representation of
yeah, of
yourself
course. And
in
then
the logo,
just adding different,
elements of
adding
that,
adding the microphone,
the skis.
yeah, adding the skis and the ice, like
Who
that's
did
some
that logo
symbolism.
for you? Shout out them.
Mars Motions. I mean, he's amazing. He's done like all my artwork and everything,
Yeah.
flyers. Like, he's so incredible.
You seem to be a loyal dude when it comes to that type of stuff too. Like if you
Yeah.
deal with someone, you like to ride with them
Yeah, yeah,
throughout the
yeah, yeah.
process. Like I know you and Jordan been locked in for a
Yeah,
long
for
time
sure.
doing from the photo shoots to the videos.
Yeah.
Like you said, Mars Motion has done most of, if not all of your artwork
Yeah.
for you. Like is that important to you building those relationships outside of even with T Rex? When you see artists like this, is it important? Not even just artists, but whenever you're doing business like that, is it important to have a personal relationship with who you're doing business with?
I think so. Like, I want it to be, more than just completely,
A
business.
business
Even
transaction.
though, yeah, exactly. Not just like a transaction. Like, I
You want
want
them to
us,
be invested in some
yeah, I
type
want
of
us
way.
both to be invested in what we're doing here, and not just, to be just all business.
Do you think you get better work out of people when they have some type of emotional investment in it?
Yeah, 100%,
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
would agree with that because if someone's just doing it for the pay, they're going to do it just to get it done and get it out the way. But when someone has a true passion for it,
Hmm.
they see your vision and they really want to make themselves known as well. Then they're going to approach it with a whole different type of passion within what they're doing. So I think that is important to have those type of connections. But sometimes it is just business, and sometimes you have to separate it from those who approach it just as that, like on us, just business.
Yeah,
Let's just get it.
100%.
Keep going.
Going back to the logo, like, I just point out here, like, of course, the microphones, the skis, and the ice, like, cracking all around me.
Oh
That's like,
yeah.
I wanted that. That was important to me. Like, sort of like, all the trials and tribulations, and like things are, caving in around you, but like, you're, keeping it cool. You're pushing through it, and then of course you get the little Connorsville C on the shirt too, and the Pittsburgh P hat. So it's a little representation of,
The Southwest PA
everything.
repping
Yeah,
hard.
for sure.
I think it's interesting. You put a lot of thought in most things you do. It's
Thank
not
you.
just even from your music is well thought out. You like to put out music with some type of feeling or motion or some type of concept behind it. Even as you explain the artwork, you can tell it's been a lot of thought put through it.
Mhm.
And to know you personally, I know you think about things deeply. You don't just take things surface level.
Yeah,
Even when you're doing something like artwork, I'm sure you went back and forth with Mars about your vision and how you seen it.
yeah.
You didn't just settle for whatever he gave you, but you wanted to see your vision played through
Hmm.
as well as his. Have you always been like that? Have you always been a deep thinker? Have you always been like poetic in that? Because like I said, even when it comes to your music, it's not, there's always some type of content within it. You don't just make songs just to make songs. It's always some type of message within it. And when I say message, I don't mean like in a, we are the world way,
Yeah,
but there's some
yeah.
type of
I
something you're
got you.
trying to get across in the music.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to just comes to just everything, I like to be really hands on, for one, for sure. Um, um, that's first off. But yeah, when it comes to the music itself, like, my music's very autobiographical,
Yeah.
and
Is
you know,
that tough?
uh
Is it tough to be that personal? Is it tough to be that vulnerable? I always ask artists who are that way, who do give that much of themselves. Is it tough to let so many people potentially inside of your private life, your thoughts, or
I
do you
guess
not do
not.
you not even think about it
I
that
guess
that
not in
way?
the moments, but that, like sometimes, like, after, um releasing certain things, I just, you put yourself in, like, well, I'm talking about um my old relationship in this
Right,
song. Like, when this person hears it, what are they gonna think of this line here? And
right,
like,
right.
things like that. But no, I just try to be really honest and transparent in my music. Like, just as a listener first, the deeper, I love all music, all genres, all styles, happy, sad, whatever. But like, the deeper stuff has always, had staying power with me.
Right,
Like
right.
what you can listen to when you're going
Through something.
through something.
Yeah.
Just stays
with you. Yeah.
And like, if I give a list of my favorite artists, like every single one of them like incorporates that. Like nothing's like, just surface level. It's all some, deeper stuff like that.
So yeah, let's touch on that, right? But I want to get into some of the music. We're gonna get into your latest single. I don't know how to say that word, bro. What's the
I Dream of Poutine.
I Dream of Poutine.
So,
Poutine. What's poutine? Tell us about
poutine
that. I know what it is. But
it's a popular Canadian dish of French fries, gravy, and cheese curds. And it's amazing.
Is it fire?
So good, so good.
I didn't have a chance to have any of that. Where did you stumble across? Oh no, and that's going to be a transition, right? Because we definitely got to talk about tour, right? You were on your first international tour. So what was the inspiration for the song outside of the dish itself?
Just the cover, like that experience, like that, those moments, like that was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, just it was everything I thought it could be and 10 times more. Like that was
touring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, touring in general, I'd like to think, but I just think like that specific tour, and even Webby ended up saying himself, and he's been touring for like 15 years, that he said at the end of it that was his best or favorite tour ever. That's
crazy.
Ever.
So you got to be a part of that for him.
Yeah, that was incredible. Like you can fake a lot in today's music, but what we saw night in and night out of his fan base, that you can't fake that.
You can't fake that.
That's real.
You can't fake those views.
No,
those people were really lined up outside the door.
Lined up, meet and greets, like giving him gifts, like then knowing every
having
lyric,
tattoos,
like,
getting tattoos, of his name.
Which I even like.
You got a tattoo, huh? Well, not you. You got a tattoo. Somebody got your name tattooed on them.
I think there might even been two people, but I know one for sure. Yeah, I think there's two, but one for sure. Like tagged us that she got her
everybody that was on the all access joint.
Yeah, tattooed on her.
That's crazy. Nuts. What's up, Tomcat? Rip T-Rex for sure. So let's go ahead and get into the new track. One more time, go ahead and introduce Poutine. I Dream of Poutine. I'm sorry, Canadians. I fuck this up every time. Poutine. This is Seanski, I Dream of Poutine. Make sure you download, listen to this, stream it on every platform.
Yeah.
Every platform. Let's go.
It's Seanski. I'm back home. So I might be one of Canada's own. Crazy past month. Let me try something else. Where do I start? How do I begin? Web blazing trail, we set sail to the wind. Island of the sea wolves, welcome to the den. Where the stage lights flicker when the ferry ride ends. First time here, eager for the exposure. Month of Saucy's at a one cheek the whole way over. Gas railing, free falling with the breathtaking views. Running down the stream on who will run into. Atlantis up in Ottawa, Trinity O'Bacity. The hitman saves the flag waving out in Calgary. Better yet, a fan base loyal to the core. And those Canuck women really were a sight for the soul. Eyes, the comments that the people are the prize. Good things are worth waiting, know the reasons after 9. And you know my sense in the immoral requirements. They can sense to all they want, but they never can silence us. The response to the rain spoke volumes at the hands. I won't be the dead horse and pile might himself. But now I'm back to the border and instilled with some hope in me. But back to my door, shut off notice there currently. Thinking of the kids with the attitudes and urges. Won't be the last time that I touch a different currency. A little taste has me feeling alive. Just don't forget the poutine on the side, you know. Been climbing, grinding, all the more from my eyes. Reluctant, trusted, some screaming in the midst of the night. Feel the momentum start shifting. God's will has me here in this position. And it's only just a matter of time. Only just a matter of.
I don't know what they was about to play after that, but
Shout out JD. Made this, my guy JD.
yeah,
My engineer at ID Labs. He
yeah, hell yeah. Shout out
produced the song and he engineered the session,
Mm.
and he mixed it. He mixed that as well.
JD made
Yeah.
this. We had JD as a guest on here,
Triple threat.
man.
Yeah,
Shout out JD for sure.
JD's the man.
So yeah, man, let's get into the tour a little bit. So you took a brief hiatus from the music, then came back like you never left. Collab doing features with different artists from the game. Um, Jim Jones and Jewels
Yeah.
from Dipset, Chris Webby, and in turn end up doing a tour with Chris Webby. Tell the people a little bit about that and how that came about.
Yeah, just started out with us doing the Juiced Up song together. I had just been watching the show The Sopranos nonstop, and ended ended up attending Sopranos Con. It's like a convention they had
Yeah,
in Atlantic City, and I just decided one day, like, you know, I do a lot of like deeper music that's about my personal life, but like I do like to have like fun records too. Like I like to be versatile. So
yeah,
just one day I'm like, I'm gonna make a song with all soprano references, and I just happened to see, because I knew of Chris Webby, but I wasn't familiar with his music. I just happened to see at one of the soprano cons, like from the previous year, he was a guest there.
you're right.
So I'm like, oh man, like, so he must,
He must be a fan.
yeah,
Yeah,
he must love the show. So um it just so happened that he was coming to Pittsburgh at the time for a show. I reached out to, he was Opus One as the promoter on that show, and was able to get on that show with him at the time, and then also coordinated to where um, he did his feature for that song at ID Labs at the same time, and that was just an incredible experience
yeah,
there for him. Coming in with the tour crew and just knocking it out, and then seeing him again at the show and rocking that as well, and that the show with him was that was probably my favorite Pittsburgh show. Like the crowd was just really engaged and really into
yeah.
it, and then from there just um
Web fan base different.
building, yeah, for sure. And Juiced Up, the song with Webby, like that's one song I really put a lot of strategic planning
Yeah,
into that, like outside of just the song. Of course, the video I made, like that
right.
took a long time, like just to, every single line, like we're saying, like every every word,
You
to
try to put an image to every
yeah,
bar.
like
Yeah,
those exact scenes that we're quoting. So that took some time, but like I'm really happy with how that turned out. And then like I just had in my mind, okay, when this drops, like I know all these soprano pages on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, like, and I just was like prepared. Like I had like a notebook of like 100 something I wrote down, and I'm like reached out to him in advance and like told him about it. I think I gave him a preview of the video before anyone else, and just like, hey, when this comes out, can you share it? So then following back up with them, and the majority did, and like, man, it was just
pretty good response.
yeah, great response, and a lot of a lot of support behind that. So um a lot of
And like I said, you've done a lot of features prior to that with bigger artists.
yeah.
Do you think that one? Where would you rate that one compared to some of your other features? Like as far as success, is it the most successful?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say so. Just, it's obviously different times now. It's hard to say. I mean, of course, the song with Wiz, and just working with him in general, like always like pays some kind of dividends, like when
Right.
people hear that, know that, whatever, like think, to a lot of people, it adds some like credence to what I'm
What you're
to,
doing.
to what I'm doing.
Right.
So but no, that one is definitely up there. I think, I mean, he definitely gave an amazing verse. He
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
He definitely didn't.
He didn't mail it
He
in.
didn't meld it in
No, not at
at
all.
all. I thought we both like just went really
Yeah,
really hard
it's
on
a
that.
dope record. And so from that, you end up doing a tour, Chris Webber International Tour. And this was your first tour, correct?
Yeah,
And do you remember the cities that you went to on this tour? Can you give us a few of them,
yeah.
or give us some? Give us your top. How many cities did you do total? Let's start there.
So did was it 22 total? 7 on the West Coast and 15 in Canada. I think it was 22 shows total.
Give me your top 5 shows
Five,
on tour, the venue and city, if you remember.
Okay, I'll definitely remember the city. Um, number 1, it's got to be London, Ontario, which was the next to last show.
Okay, what made that one special?
I mean, the venue was amazing, and like people were just really into it. The decibel level was just different.
Yeah.
That one, it was just, man, it was
Is
amazing.
that a big part of what makes a great show? A great show is the. It's probably a silly question. Does the audience participation and audience
Oh, yeah.
energy make a big difference in the show?
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
obviously that's a question that goes without saying, but I had to ask it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's
just
number one.
getting that back, getting
Getting that love back.
Yeah, for sure. When people are engaged like that, it just makes the performance that much better.
Yeah, and artists feed off of that.
Yeah,
they feed off of what the crowd is giving them. Yeah. So London's number 1.
Yeah. Gets tricky. I really liked Billings, Montana, and you were there for that one. I really like that.
Was that the that wasn't the basement. That was Missoula was the basement. Billings was the.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the venue.
I can't remember it either.
But I mean
I like that one.
That show was just like people were really, really into that.
Yeah.
Into that. Like,
was that a different experience? Like being on tour, like having people want autographs, want pictures with you, and things like that. Was that a?
Oh yeah. No,
was that something different for you?
No, yeah, that was a really, really cool thing. Just getting to meet everyone, after, and just, getting all the feedback,
right.
Like, I mean, that was really, really important, because it usually wasn't just some like blanket statement as something like people would really like
connect with you.
Yeah, give detail like on certain parts of the performance.
Yeah.
Which I can. There's just like so many moments from tour where I could, go over stuff like that. But like one that sticks out to me, although it was a cover, it wasn't my own, but still, my 3 a.m. cover that I did, like, I mean, I did it every night, but a gentleman in Toronto reached out to me and said that he had just lost his wife.
Damn.
And that was wife or fiance, something like that. But he had just lost her, and that was her favorite song. And he was just saying, like, it moved him to tears and everything, and how much it meant to him. And but yeah, like, I just a lot of like Instagram messages and stuff from people, like, like some deeper stuff. Like, man, like
you made real connections with people with your music,
lot, like depressed, this and that, and like I could really relate to your stuff on another level, especially when I especially like when I get feedback on Sail Away. It's my favorite song to perform.
Yeah,
like those, like the lyrics, especially. I know I'm gonna get better as an artist, better as a writer, but something about that second verse to Sail Away, it just, everything is just, it just like really, it's factual for one, and it just really, really hits home, and everything I'm saying. And just something about that.
That's special to you.
Yeah, that's really special to me. And like just to have, somebody at a recent Afroman show that um, kid that came up and uh, bought a shirt and just saying like he was like, man, that song like really, really hit me in the feels and like just like that one in particular like means a lot to me. Like because I know it's a slower song, right? Like,
Right.
And a lot of people are coming to the hip hop show and they expect to hear more upbeat stuff.
Right.
So for me to slow it down like that and it be received well is like, man, that means a lot.
What up, Perp Boy? Thanks for joining us.
But yeah, so
we got
Billings?
we got London, Billings.
We got to go with Edmonton. Edmonton was crazy too, which
Canada.
This picture right here, it's from Edmonton.
Yeah.
And they had the big video boards, and if you could see in this photo, it was, I think there was 3 of them.
Yeah,
so,
you can see your logo on the background.
Yeah, and they had my logo on, like all 3. It was just really cool, and that was just crazy packed. The Edmonton one. Next, I gotta go with Denver. 420.
Oh yeah,
Denver
420 in
show.
Denver. Yeah,
yeah.
Was that was the Roxy?
Is that what it was?
Yeah, the Roxy out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I don't know why something else just keeps coming into my head. The Roxy. Because where was the show after that?
That was in Wyoming. That was like a gas light or the gas can or some shit like that in Wyoming.
Oh, so we did the other
with the Casper
Colorado show.
That was the
Greeley. Greeley was the Moxie Theater, wasn't it?
No. Yeah. You're right. Greeley was the Moxie Theater.
Denver was Cervantes.
You're right.
And that was
you're right.
That was awesome. That
yeah,
that Denver show. Wow. Like in that. Shout out to the guys, I can't remember them, that I hired to do
the
video work.
Yeah,
the video work, like
yeah.
Man, and the photos, like wow, did they do an amazing job? Like definitely would work with those guys again. I hate that I can't
remember their name right now. Hey, shout out
name.
y'all boys.
Yeah. Then 5th would be pretty close between Victoria, Canada, which was the first show in Canada, which that was nuts. I mean, it just immediately.
Was that your first time being in Canada on tour?
Yeah. I mean, it's my first time being in Canada, period.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it went to another level. Like the US shows were incredible in itself, but like, it was just like another level. And like Fury had given me, heads up, like they're, they don't get American music all the time. So like, they're really
excited to have
it, really into it.
Yeah.
And that was so true. So it'd be between that Victoria show and the final show in Toronto.
Yeah.
That was a big one as well. And shout out Chris Fury for sure, because without him, like I would have never had
those opportunities would have come.
None of those opportunities. So as much as it's about the relationship I built with Webby, it's about the relationship I built with Fury and his.
For those who don't know, Chris Fury's Webby's manager.
Yes, and he runs everything behind the scenes to makes everything run smoothly.
Hey, Fury's a wild boy and he's dedicated. I'll tell you, like when I first came to Denver, I got off the plane and I'm hella tired. So we do the show in Greeley and it's freezing. We're in Denver. It was early March and it's freezing. And I remember I wanted to take a nap so bad. And it was my first night being out there. So I hired in the SUV to go take a nap and I'm freezing, bro. Like I'm bundled up underneath my hoodie. And I see Fury outside on the back talking on the phone. And he doesn't, like, he got less clothes on than I do. I'm like, oh shit, I don't want him to see me taking a nap. He's gonna think like I'm a slacker or something. He don't know me, he's gonna think I'm a slacker. So I'm trying to hide from him while I'm sleeping in the SUV. And I'm like, oh, he's gonna go in eventually because it's cold as hell. Dude's on the phone the whole goddamn show. He ain't move an inch, bro. I'm like, God damn, is he ever gonna leave? Like he was on the phone working the whole time. Like after we got like a little bit later, we got to Wyoming. I told him that same exact story. Like, damn, bro, you're a hustler. He's like, yeah, it was cold as fuck that night. He's like, but I had a lot of shit I had to take care of. But yeah, for sure. Shout out to Fury.
Yeah, he's all business for sure. I mean, he's a
What was that like being on tour with people like that who've got experience in it? Someone who with like Fury, who is about his business. What was it like seeing that firsthand and seeing the sold out shows? Did you expect that to see all these sold out shows? Did you expect this to be like that? What you had for your first tour?
No, not to that extent. And just to touch more on Fury a little bit, like of course we both end up no, I don't know if you were still when we were listening. No, I think you had been gone. We were listening to this podcast that he did
Oh yeah,
in Canada, and just man, all the history he has of working with like Nicki Minaj, and
yeah.
like any, like all the biggest
Angie
artists.
Martinez. Yeah, I got to
Yeah,
have conversations with him about that.
yeah, just like man, the guy's been around and has so much history, and you can see why he's been successful for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to uh your question.
Yeah, what was it like being on tour with guys like that with experience that are professional, like they know how to tour?
Just and when it comes to actual performance aspect, just learning from them each night, like just saying different things that they do to get the crowd more engaged. um, you know
And shout out to
different
all the
things.
boys who are on tour with us
Yeah,
too, right? Shout out
shout out.
Annoyed,
Yep, Annoyed,
Echo,
Justin Clancy,
Justin Clancy for sure,
in the
bro.
band.
Yeah.
Speaking of Annoyed, we're gonna have a song coming soon, and I'm really hoping to get a couple more people on this song as well. It's gonna be a big one. And if you like old school wrestling, this is for you. This is another one of those fun tracks, like how the Juiced Up Sopranos
Yeah, it's got a theme with it.
This is all now I'll just give it to you. It's gonna be called Raw vs Nitro.
Okay.
And we're taking it back to that time
Yeah,
period.
that's hard.
Just nothing but wrestling references. And I already got my verse written for it, and I spent a lot of time on it, and I'm happy. I can't wait to. I'm just.
You get to talk wrestling with Annoyed on the road.
Yeah, we did. I mean, and we both traded back and forth. Who had the better wrestling shirt that day that we were wearing.
Who's your top 5 wrestlers all time?
My top 5 is gonna be personal.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it doesn't.
I
Yeah,
think, like,
of course.
Don't
nobody get bitter about his top 5 because it ain't your top 5. It's his top 5.
Oh man, I mean, first and second, definitely. First is Scott Hall, Razor Ramon.
Okay.
Which, I mean, we could keep going, right? Like we were supposed to. He was supposed to be in my I-376 video.
Yeah.
We went to Atlanta. He canceled on me the morning of, but I don't hold it against him. I knew he was going through a lot of things at the time, so
right.
I've forgiven him. R.I.P. to the legend Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. He'd be number 1. 2, Kane.
Okay.
Love Kane. 3 is gonna be Hogan, but it's gonna be Hollywood
Hogan, NWO.
Yeah, I mean, I loved Hulk when I was younger, but like Hollywood Hogan's just like, man, he pulled that off perfectly.
Yeah. Went to Hill like no problem.
Yeah, absolutely. It gets tricky when it gets
to 4 and 5.
Because I definitely love Stone Cold, for large parts of his career. I don't know if this count, but I guess he did wrestle some too. Is man, Vince McMahon, what a genius, dude! Like,
yeah, hell yeah, what he did with the whole WWE, WWF shit, like, yeah,
and just the storylines that he was involved in, like
NWO, X-Pac for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. The cement truck, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man,
he changed.
The hospital scene is like one of my the bedpan.
The Stone Cold, yeah.
I mean, they did get married in real life.
Yeah.
Like marrying his daughter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, like those. Mae Young with Mark Henry. Yeah. It just, I mean.
Are you fuck with the old school WWF too, Jeff?
Yeah. So his genius from that standpoint, but just like the storylines he was involved in himself. I mean, like as great as Austin was, like Austin and McMahon, like
those were classic.
Like man, there's just there's so many other ones. I really liked Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
he's actually still around, like in the AEW.
Yeah,
I
he's
haven't
still
got
working.
around to really watch him, but I've heard some good things about it. Yeah, he would be out there. I mean, I loved the NWO.
Yeah, me too.
I still wear NWO shirts and such.
For
so,
sure. That was the golden age of it, for
Yeah.
sure. I agree with you, Perk. No, for sure. My top 5, real quick, I'm gonna give it to you, is Shawn Michaels was my guy.
HBK, Heartbreak Kid.
Kevin Nash, Diesel,
Yeah.
that was my guy.
Yeah.
Of course, The Rock. I don't know how you not mention The Rock, bro.
I
He's
was-
certainly
I was-
the
I
most
would say,
charismatic.
yeah, I was gonna, when I got to talking about Stone Cold, I was gonna,
Because those battles were classic.
Yeah.
The Rock and Sting. I gotta go with my guy Sting.
Sting's a good one.
And
He's
the
underrated.
Ultimate Warrior. I used to
Ultimate
love the
Warrior, yeah.
Ultimate Warrior, bro.
Yeah.
And Legion of Doom for tag team. I think they're so underrated. Like,
Oh yeah.
Legion of Doom was hard.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions.
No, that's
Triple H. Yeah, Triple H is a legend. Of course.
That's a great list for sure.
Yeah, that's my top 5.
Yeah, it's just so many greats we left out too.
Oh, for sure,
Like
for sure.
the Undertaker.
Oh yeah,
Ric Flair.
yeah. No, there's so many of them, but those are just my top 5. Don't kill me.
Can never forget about Flair.
Oh, Ric Flair. Yeah, Ric Flair's dope right now. He's still doing his shit. Ric Flair out here for real, hanging out with the Migos. Ric Flair's a symbol out here, man.
I just gave Ric Flair some of my merch. Like, now I know I probably just got tossed in one of his,
one of his
vehicles and disappeared. But still,
he gave it to his nephew. Like, here, rocking a Seanski. So yeah, so touring with Webb, you got to experience that. You got to hang out with the likes of Chris Fury's managers like that. With the likes of Webb. You got to see these things firsthand. You got to build these relationships. How does that change your outlook on music, or did it change your outlook on music? How did that, getting off of that type of experience, being able to experience that, how did that change your approach to music, if it did, in fact, change it at all?
Well, it just definitely made me want to go a lot harder, like seeing, what's possible. And also, like, one of the biggest things I took from it too is just how big the world is, to the point where it's like, I remember telling everybody I was going on tour with Webby, and like,
yeah,
the majority of people being like, oh, I remember, he had 1 or 2 songs I heard back in the day, but I didn't know he was even.
They weren't familiar with him.
Yeah, like even the people that were into hip hop, like they didn't even think he was around anymore. So for like, people, to have that take and
to see how successful he is.
Yeah, and to see like him selling out every single night, like it just doesn't matter. I was talking to Scott Blasey of the Clarks today about this. It's just saying, like, it just doesn't matter. Like, the world is huge. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't matter if all these other people don't know you exist.
Right.
Like, if especially you build that core following, like, of loyal fans, which you see he definitely has that.
Right.
And I'm sure touring has really helped him through the years, because it's like consistent, like comes back to these places, and he has like those fans that are, consistently there. Like, I see him, like, I'm in a couple Facebook groups, like Webby fan groups, and everyone's talking about the Black Friday show at Toad's place, and and just talking like, oh, this will be my 8th year being there, like, and just a lot of loyalty.
So we're definitely going to talk about that, but I want to get into the Webby track as well while we're talking about, bro. We should certainly play the track. So tell us a little bit about this song and how it came to be. That we're going to play "Juiced Up" featuring Chris Webby.
Yeah, touched on a good bit of about it, but I do want to say produced by Big Germ. I mean,
yeah, shout out
Legend Germ.
Yeah,
and mixed by E Dan,
the legend too, right?
So
yeah. So this is "Juiced Up" featuring Chris Webby. This could be found on all platforms.
Yes.
And also check out the video.
Yeah,
right?
Check out the YouTube video.
You don't gotta love it, but you will regret it. This is where you might remember. I'm the motherfucking fucking one who caused the shit.
I got the juice. I got the juice. I play the cool. They turn me loose. I got the juice. I got the juice. They wanted war, then call for truce. I got the juice. Who got the juice? I got the juice. Who got the juice? I get the bag. then chunk the deuce. I got the juice. Who got the juice? I got the juice. Who got the juice? Light on the pole, do not confuse. Let me tell you a couple, 3 things to start this here out. No compromise, a caving going through life's trials. Gladiator earning, that's by any means, anyhow. But I'm grateful, never had to feel that H like thou. Bounce back, I can't take that bridge like Benny Mac. A shrink down with facing dog, help me to relax. Shaw with the rack and thick like Jenny Stack. Holy moly, all that ass, I sense a panic attack. Live and direct, I can never keep it OBK. Put me in, coach, keep Vendetto, I am here to play. Drop my bags, money down, let you know I'm here to stay. Been a minute, back up in it, what do you hear, what do you say? I got the juice, I got the juice. I played it cool, they turn me loose. I got the juice, I got the juice. They wanted war, then call for truce. I got the juice, who got the juice? I got the juice, who got the juice? I get the bag, then chunk the deuce. I got the juice, who got the juice? I got the juice, who got the juice? Light on the pole, do not confuse.
Hey. Feds got my picture on the corkboard, snapping shots while I'm talking business at the pork store. My capos give the boss cut when they run a job. Since time immemorial, that's just the fucking mob. A couple no-show jobs, a lot of racketeering. They try to get that RICO case, that's why them rats are swilling. We run a lot of things, see them what the profit brings. In the back room, counting money at the bada bing. You just a big pussy, probably call police when they see this rabid dog coming and I'm off leash. I'm a pit bull mix, you just a Maltese. Put them down, Mikey Paul Meese. Got the fresh sweets, show them how to handle it. Trash rappers getting taken out, waste management. Heavy is the head, pushing through it when the panic hits. Throw that gabagool up on my motherfucking sandwiches.
I got the juice, I got the juice. I played it cool, they turn me loose. I got the juice, I got the juice. They wanted war, then call for truce. I got the juice, who got the juice? I got the juice, who got the juice? I get the bag, then chunk the deuce. I got the juice, who got the juice? I got the juice, who got the juice? Light on the pole, do not confuse. Always cooking up the truth, I bring the fire like Vesuvio. And follow codes, never squeal like Petrulio. Calms type the way I paint with my pen about the things I have seen, but nothing quite like fan. Hey, hey.
Shares with pulp. You like it with pulp, not this much. I like the one that says some pulp.
It's crazy because I never knew that they really made orange juice with some pulp.
Yeah,
That's actually a thing.
yeah,
And apparently Tony Soprano prefers his.
definitely.
So you're a big fan of Sopranos, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Who's your favorite Soprano character? Just want to change this for you?
Can we go? Can we go like secondary? Because I feel like how can you
Oh, you
not,
not
how can
like
you not
Tony?
pay Tony?
Yeah.
Man, I really love Richie April.
Yeah.
He was only around for one season, season 2.
You think
And
he was like the?
He was like the perfect villain.
Yeah, that's what I was
Like,
going to say. Do you think he's the number one villain?
I think so, just because man, he had.
You know who the real number one villain was?
Who?
His mom.
Oh well, yeah, Olivia.
I was thinking about that because you and I had a conversation about it one day, and
Yeah.
I was watching the show, and I'm like, really, the number one villain is his mom,
Yeah.
bro.
I mean,
Like
I mean,
any
she plot against
damage.
him, but the mental torture is just
Yeah.
like, you know.
Well, no, and she was successful sometimes, and
Yeah.
I mean, she was
Yeah.
successful in a lot of her. Like she was really pulling the strings. And I got a running theory, right? Check this out. I don't think I've got a chance to talk to you about this. What if Junior is really Tony's dad? Have you ever thought about that? What if Junior is really Tony's dad, bro? Uncle Junior is really his dad. That's why they
You
have
think
that relationship. I don't know. This is just a theory. You know how they have fan theories. This is just my
Yeah.
personal fan theory.
I mean,
There might be some
I wish,
knowing
like-
a relationship that he had with her too. Like, you know, they were always kind of like
yeah,
flirtatious, like, and they were always weird about it too whenever people would ask about it.
yeah. You mean Junior and Livia?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't recall them being like too
Flirtatious?
flirtatious. No,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You gotta. I mean, you know, I'm a Sopranos buff.
I know it.
You're gonna have to reference.
So
you know,
like in a car rides alone, he would go and visit her, bring her stuff. And
Yeah.
anytime people would mention it, you know, they would always act weird about it. Like, oh, I can have friends. Like when the
Yeah.
lady at the nursing home asked her about it, like, oh, your brother-in-law came in to see you again. And she's like, I can have friends, and how defensive they would get whenever people would bring up their relationship.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying from that regard. I think think it was more so like just because she was plotting on Tony, like
Yeah, I don't know.
um but no, I'm always one for theories like
Go
that
ahead,
too.
watch it again from that aspect. Think about it that way.
Yeah, no, that's
And you know how they
that's a good
play
one.
ball. You know, you always play ball with Tony. Like that was
Yeah,
that was his guy.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Him and Uncle June were tight. That's why they were tight the way they were.
She was the real villain for
Oh,
sure though,
for
because
sure. She was
if you see like, he could handle all the, the physical stuff, the violent stuff, but it was that like he was constantly trying to please her, and it
yeah.
wasn't gonna happen. Which
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of us can relate to.
Relate to that in
Whether that
relationships.
yeah, whether that be parents, family, relationships, like
Yeah.
just constantly trying to
Please that person
please that person, but really it's just never gonna happen because the issues lie
within them.
within them, and if
Yeah.
they're not willing to work on themselves.
Damn,
it's
that's
just-
being involved too, right? Is understanding that like
Yeah.
their issue is not with me, it's with themselves.
Yeah. Even still though, like even though it might be the truth, it doesn't make it hurt any
less.
less,
Yeah.
like knowing that, like, because you'll just go through every I did some I don't want to get too far into that, but I did some counseling after the end of my like 9-10 year relationship, and
Yeah.
just like the counselor said, like, you keep thinking, or you had been thinking like all that time, like, if you just do this right, if you just change this about
Right.
yourself, a light bulb's going to go off, and it's going to make her really care about you.
Right.
And it's just,
It's not going to
gonna
happen. Yeah.
So
I think that's a tough reality to take, because so many times as humans, we want to control life. We want to control every aspect of it. And sometimes it's hard to let go and understand, like, I don't have anything to do with this. This is out of my control. But once you're able to do that,
yeah,
oh man, it's such a different type of enlightenment that you receive when you understand, like, I control my world and the things within my world, and I need to be focused on those things that I can control, and less focused on the things that I can't control. But I think it's important to have contingency plans and to be able to be reactive,
yeah,
and be able to work on the fly and not get flustered when things happen and they occur. I think it's such an important part of life. Is I always say, it's not the falling down, but it's how you bounce back from.
yeah,
Because you're going to fall. There's always going to
sure.
be a fall that happens, but it's what happens when that fall takes place. Like, how do you react to it?
Absolutely, couldn't agree more.
Yeah, man. So yeah, what we got coming up for you? So we know we heard some of the singles. We know you got singles out right now. Is there any projects that people can listen to right now?
I would say just continue to listen to the singles for now. Also, go back on some of my like check out my IG page. Um, I dropped several videos before. I was doing a little series, which I might end up starting again. Like I called it 12 on 12, where I would drop 12 bars.
Some freestyles.
Yeah, just drop a lot of lyrics here and there, because as much as uh, I do write a lot of meaningful content.
Yeah.
Not to say that those aren't, but I still enjoy the I'll always enjoy the wordplay, the metaphors,
Right.
and things of that
The
nature. So,
lyricism.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, that will never go away. I got like, man, this finally, I know I've been telling people for a long time about for years about an album coming, but it will definitely come this following year. I have one song left to record for it, one song, and I was waiting on feature. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but I'm not gonna wait too much longer. I might just turn it in and really start shopping this album. And I'm really, I'm pleased with the album. Trying to think what it's been so long. I'm trying to think what I named
The album.
Yeah, the album. Drawing a blank right now. Processed is what I named.
Is that going to be is that the final title for it?
Yeah, that's the final title. And without going too much into personal information, I had went through a few years back. I went through the end of a nearly a decade relationship,
Yeah.
and my kids are involved in that too, because you don't. It's not just the end of that relationship. Now you want to see your kids half the time, and
Yeah.
that's just terrible for someone like myself that want to be a father every
Part
day.
time. Yeah.
I don't like people. People will say to you like, "Oh, you're lucky. It could be a lot worse." And while I understand what they're saying, like saying how I'm like, no, like I want to, I
You want
didn't
to be a
sign up
part of
for that.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything. So it just and just even to this day to see how the negative impact it still has, but you just try to make the best of it, and control, like you said, like control like what you can control. Um, but yeah, that's the album processed, and it's basically takes through song by song all the emotions. Like so
Yeah.
we start out alternate ending, which is gonna be the intro track, which I perform first if you come see me at any of my shows. And with that you get like a lot of you get a lot of anger, disbelief, shock in that, and then it just takes you through the process of all the different emotions going through something like that. So I wanted to like document that through the music, and I feel like I did that, and got some big features on there. Hopefully gonna get Life Jennings on there. Either way, if not, at some point we'll remix the song I want him on at a
Yeah.
later time. We got Jim Jones and Joel Santana on the song.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a big one.
That's fire. Dipset.
We got Wiz Khalifa on there. Now, being that It's a Bird thing doesn't exist anymore, I will say, like, just for anybody like thinking maybe it's like new Wiz vocals, like it's not it, but it's still like how it was remixed. I brought the idea of exactly what I wanted done to Mo. Shout out to Mo.
Mo the
We
Natural.
we
What
know
up, bro?
we both know he's one of the most
Talented
incredible,
individuals.
individuals. Period. Um, Brought that to him since It's a Bird thing wasn't out anywhere, because I still wanted to make use of that Wiz feature because I own those vocals.
Right.
So we wanted to flip it into a hook, and he did everything I wanted and more. So
Yeah.
I'm
Hell yeah.
excited with how that turned out. Um, also I have Kyle Cook of Matchbox 20 on the album playing guitar, and man, he added so many pieces. Originally he was just supposed to do a guitar solo,
Yeah.
and then he ended up like he was like, I hope you don't mind, but like he added like all these like different instruments and
He
things
took a little
throughout
bit. He
the
took some liberties.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm
Hell
like,
yeah.
oh, of course not, dude, do what you
Yeah.
want. And that song, uh for anybody that's heard it, I've let select few people hear it. It's called Agree to Disagree. And that song means so much to me because me and Garrett Hunter, shout out to Garrett, we spent probably like 30, 40 sessions on that one song.
Yeah.
And there's just so many different elements to that song, and how it transitions. Stephen Gallo on guitar throughout the song. Mo did the production. Sam Brooks playing piano for the bridge and the outro. Dan mixed it and did an incredible job. That song means a lot to me.
It's almost like you curated like a symphony, damn near.
Yeah, man.
Bringing all those different instruments, live instrumentations, and things into the fold.
Yeah, absolutely. Another song like that. I'm not gonna get too in detail, but Old Picks with Mrs. Gail Stafford,
Yeah.
singing some gospel on there, which is what I was looking for, and she killed it. She's amazing. She's amazing. That's like that song right there, and especially that section of the song. Like I feel like that's where like my Kanye influence
Yeah, right.
really shows.
That's
'cause
what I was thinking
like,
as you said it. Like,
yeah, like that's just like even like there's a soul clap in it. Like you could see that there. We got It's Marley on there
hey,
on the album.
that's fire.
So that's a great song we did. And yeah, I'm excited for everyone to hear it when comes out. For now, just be in tune for more singles and of course continuous shows. Real quick on the shows I
Yeah,
got
let's talk
coming
about
up.
that.
Of course, the Black Friday show in New Haven, Connecticut, for Chris Webby's 13th annual Black Friday show. It's gonna be something special for
It's gonna
sure.
be a movie.
I can't wait. I can't wait for
I'm looking
that.
forward to that too. I ain't gonna lie.
Then coming right back, Thursday, November 30th, Hard Rock Cafe. I'm gonna do an all acoustic set with Duncan Hartz. Shout out to Duncan,
Nice.
who's been playing guitar for me for a while now.
What up, Dunker Chunk?
Donkey
Hey,
Chunk.
don't get that man no peanut butter. Y'all see him, man. Y'all respect my man.
I just sent him a picture.
Y'all respect my man's peanut allergies, man.
I sent a picture the other day. It's like a one of those like Christmas assortments of all peanuts. And I was like, you want this now or you want to wait till Christmas? But yeah, we're doing a special acoustic set with Scott Blasey of the Clarks.
Nice.
And I love Scott, as a person, as an artist. I mean, he is like, man, guy means so much to me, especially how he carries himself too, being from Connellsville and how successful he's been and just how he treats other people. And of course the Christmas show last year, he still did it right as the time he lost his mother. It's just, I mean, he's a huge influence of mine for sure. And for that show in particular, there was going to be a few other openers, and he just thought that was, it was just too many, it's just too much, and he cut back the show but left me on it with him. So it's just me and him. So
that's
like,
crazy.
man, that means a lot to me.
Hell
that
yeah.
he kept me on it like that. So I'm gonna be doing like a 25-minute, half-hour set of some originals. Gonna do some covers, and I'm really excited for that. Then newest announcement as of earlier today, Saturday, December 9th, opening for Styles P.
Oh, that's fire.
Smoke Dizza. And this is Styles P's last tour.
Damn. That comes full circle too, because you played the music. You were out with Jadakiss out in New York,
right? Yeah,
playing some music.
Yeah.
So now you get to be a part of like Styles P's last tour. Only one you're missing now is Sheik. You got to find a way to lock in with Sheik. Get the whole locks.
Definitely, yeah. Always.
And the song "Believer," you even referenced the locks. How you spoken into existence.
Yeah, definitely. Always been a big fan of Sheik too. Like I always felt like he was
underrated.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I know he's not as lyrical as the other two, but I feel like he's not that far off.
No, not at all.
He gets overlooked as much as he. Plus, he just has like
his solo album was crazy too.
Yeah, definitely.
And he had some bangers. Good Love.
Yeah, that was smooth.
Yeah, I fuck with that, John.
Yeah, big Sheik fan. But
so you got a Styles P show coming up. That's fire.
Yeah, performing Believer will be special.
Yeah. Hopefully he gets a chance to hear it.
Yeah, no, I hope so as well. Like going out to Harrisburg and trying to branch out more. Definitely trying to get back on another tour soon. That's definitely the route. I mean, eventually once I have.
Do you feel like that's been like beneficial being on tour? Do you see like that? Do you see effects from tour? Do you see your fan base grown from tour?
Absolutely. Like now it might not be like something crazy. Like what people would look at as successful, but the people that I have got from tour are all like, you know what I mean? Like how they seem like, Webby, like real loyal. Like these are people.
What up, Ellis?
What's going on? That's a really talented individual too.
Yeah.
Check him out. Check Ellis out for sure. He's got some jams that I really enjoy. What's that?
We did an interview.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. I'm gonna check that out. What were we saying now? What were we just? What did I
Damn,
just
what
say?
was that?
No, I gotta
That's
remember.
crazy.
I gotta remember. We were talking about the
show, Styles P,
yeah.
last performance. Oh yeah, touring. Do you think it? How have you benefited from it? Have you seen the growth of your
Oh yeah,
fan
yeah,
base?
yeah.
The
But like yeah, like
good
with
luck.
the thank you. With the supporters I do have now that I gained from tour, it like seems like these people are they're not fly by night. They're gonna stick around. Like,
Yeah,
whenever just from simple like when I post stuff, they're like engaging on it. So it seems like, these people are gonna be around. And I hope to continue to
develop
build.
those
Yeah,
relationships and
for
grow
sure.
'em.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
hell yeah.
somebody man, so many opportunities from tour too. Like someone reached out to me recently and that I met on tour, and they want me to come to their school. They teach at a school in Milwaukee, and they want me to come like do a little performance and talk to the kids about music.
That's
And I was
crazy.
like, man,
That's dope.
like I would love to do that.
Yeah,
So I'm hoping I can make that happen, man. But yeah, I mean, I'm in this for as I said back in the day, we did the what was it, Beckham, what was that called?
Oh, Antux Ciphers.
Antucks, yeah.
Yeah, check those out. Antux Ciphers.
Yeah,
Jordan
yeah,
Beckham
definitely check
had
that
an
out.
excellent series that he did. That featured even some of the artists that's been on the show. In the Antux Cipher, that was a dope moment. But go ahead.
Especially, I was just gonna say, I was referencing the line from that. I said, I'm in it for the long haul, Mr. Arsenio, and that's how I feel. Like I understand that I'm Asian, but like there's nothing. I feel like there's nothing gonna get in the way of like my goals, my dreams. Like I'm not stopping
Yeah.
anytime soon. Like so, just keep pushing one little step at a time, however it has to be. Like,
Is it hard to find motivation sometimes? Being an independent artist, not having a budget all the time, or not seeing the support or the progress you think you should be making.
yeah,
Is it difficult to stay
of
motivated?
course. Well, not even so motivated, but even still, like I just have,
Inspired?
I will say I have a man. I just have such a self belief. I always have.
Yeah.
Have had for music in particular.
For sure.
Like even when like local shows, when it's you get a lot of people that say they enjoy your music and support you, and even though like it's so hard to get anyone to come, like it doesn't deter me like from thinking like, oh, maybe you're not that good, or maybe or maybe this isn't for you, like nothing like that. Like it's just the situation, it's just the scenario. I don't I still have like I know like in my heart I feel like this is what God set
This is
out
your
for
journey.
me.
Yeah.
It's what God set out for me
This is your path.
to do. Like this is I watched a good clip one time with Rob Thomas talking about like, he didn't give himself a plan B.
Right.
Like he said, if this didn't work out, I was just gonna be doing it for a lot less people. And he was saying like the importance of that, not having a safety net, like not like, being all in on something.
Yeah.
Like and saying like, that's key. And that's really how I look at it too, is like I don't have
A plan B.
I don't have no backup plan. Like I don't. This is what I want to do with my life. So
And I think that's evident, in all the moves you make. It's never anything small. It's never half-assed. Like I said, from the very beginning, you always had a plan, a vision for yourself, and a structure, and you always took your time with the music. Even putting out this project, I know you put a lot of time into it, a lot of thought into it, and even touching up songs. Like you said, the one song you went back to on 40 different sessions.
yeah.
And doing that. So that just shows your level of dedication to what you're doing and your process. And, I applaud you. I got to see it firsthand. And it's been inspiring to me. You spoke about how I inspired you and you gained some inspiration behind seeing me perform. I gained the same type of inspiration behind seeing you work the whole way through, and your approach to music and your attitude has always been that, I'm going to be on. I'm going to make this work. It's going to be my living, and you never wavered from that at any point in time. So I know it's real when you say it. And with that
Appreciate
type of attitude, you can't help but to make it. And you're doing all the things the right way. I've seen it from the very beginning. You made an immediate impact as soon as you started doing music, and never looked back. And I'm glad you came down here to join us on Marley State of Mind podcast, the world's dopest podcast. Here in
Appreciate
a
you
bunch of
having
Bull
me.
Studios.
Come through anytime. This is amazing here.
Yeah, man.
Everything from this podcast to the whole setup and everything that Jesse and a bunch of Bull got going on here.
Yeah, shout out Jesse
I
and a
fully
bunch of
support it.
Bull.
I fully support it.
Yeah, we
And
appreciate
that video board outside is sick. I didn't get to tell you yet. Like that's really sick.
Flip the TV sideways through a USB.
Oh man, I didn't
Brilliant.
even notice that. That is brilliant.
Yeah, shout out Bunch of Bull Studio. We're doing podcasts every day, damn near. We're always shaking it up, and it's a great platform for artists like yourself, and hopefully people got to get a lot from this.
What episode is this?
Damn, 28.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so people
Episode
should
28.
really go back and watch them all. I
Yeah,
know I do.
Yeah, you got a favorite one?
Wow, 53. That's a lot.
That's crazy. 28.
Man, that's incredible.
You got a favorite episode?
Favorite episode. It's so hard to pick one. There's just so many good ones. I like the franchise one.
Yeah,
a
Fran was
lot.
dope. Talking about getting Fran and Vinny down here. They're working on that. Come up.
Oh yeah,
I was talking to Fran about that. Yeah.
No, that would be great. Man, I gotta go with the Folkland Los. Shout out to Los.
Shout out Los. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm a fan of his for sure. He's someone on the local scene that I want to work with.
Yeah, he's super talented, right?
Yeah, for sure.
In so many aspects. He has these great vocal deflections and tones and sing song things he does, and he got bars. Like Los is so versatile.
Yeah,
I feel you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that interview was just great. I mean, to dive into who he is personally, and just he's kind of who I thought
he was.
Yeah, the good, solid, genuine person.
Yeah.
That I've had interactions with him. Like, you see
he comes across as
yeah. You saw that in the podcast. You brought it out as you so often do with all these interviews.
Thank you. Yeah.
Asking the right questions and such. So
yeah, man.
Shout out to you.
Hell yeah. Marley State of Mind, world's dopest podcast. So we're gonna go back in the archives. Make sure you check out the Seanski singles. There's a lot of singles available for the people.
Yeah.
A lot of videos available. They can find them all under Seanski.
Yeah. It's I know there's not a space in between, but like there is this actual space
in between the actual spelling of the name, Sean and Ski.
Yeah, it's two separate words.
Right.
And I got a lot of merch. So if you want to support, like I know people got everyone's got their busy lives, but like, man, if you really want to support me, I promise I'm not getting rich off it. Every dollar I get is being invested back in the music. So like,
yeah,
man, I got shirts, hoodies, beanies.
How can they get a hold of you for that?
Same. I mean, I'm in the process of putting together a site to make it easier, but
yeah,
in the meantime, reach out to me on social media. I got some sick hoodies right now for sale, and I got a limited number left. Which is the big seller on tour, and even back local is the hockey jerseys.
Yeah, you got the hockey jersey. One of the hockey jersey, one of the colorways in the background. Yeah,
those are maybe got about 7, 8 left. I mean,
Damn.
those really went.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh yeah.
He's gonna tell you he's gonna tell you your price off camera, Jesse.
Yeah. I gotta give you the discount.
Can't get Jesse the price on camera. Everybody can't get that price. Absolutely. Make sure y'all tap in with Seanski and everything that you're doing. Next show is gonna be in New Haven, Connecticut for the Black Friday show at the Toad. Make sure y'all are there for that one. Justina Valentine.
Yeah, Justina Valentine gonna be in the building.
That's
too.
fire.
Yeah. Can't wait.
I can't wait for that either. That's gonna be dope.
ADHD.
For sure. And then after that, you said you're coming back home and doing a show with Scott Blasey.
End of November, Thursday, November 30th. Tickets are only $10. Come
Damn,
on, man. Come down and
have a good time.
Enjoy the night. Scott's doing a couple hours, man. You know, he's got the catalog to do so.
Yeah.
So,
and then after that, you got a show with Styles P.
Yeah, in Harrisburg. That is going to be crazy. Anyone wants to come,
you guys want tickets, make sure you get a hold of them, man.
Come with us. Travel with us.
Yeah.
A couple hours away.
Event.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We got to have you back again sometimes. Bunch of Bull Studios, Marley State of Mind, the world's dopest podcast. And we'll be back at you next week, as usual, with another dope guest. Till then, signing out.